What's up? We are back. Before we do get into this review, you already know what we're doing. We got the last part of Baddies ATL reunion, but before we start, I want to thank y'all so much. I want to thank y'all so much because the last review I did for Baddies did really well. It's the highest viewed video I've gotten so far, almost 4,000 views. I appreciate y'all so much for all the comments, all the likes, all the shares, all of what you've done, the subscribers as well. Let's continue to do that. Before we get into this review, I want you to go ahead and thumbs this up again. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what's up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Turn the post notifications on because I do have some more shows coming as well. I've been reviewing The Challenge. I've got, I believe it's called BMF, 50 Cent show coming out with Tasha Smith and Da Vinci. I'm reviewing that. That looks really good. And then we got Power Goes 2 coming, and then One More Chance. They're filming their show. I'm probably going to review that as well. If you like this ghetto ratchet shit, stay with me. But again, I want to thank y'all again so much. Hit that subscribe button, turn the post notifications on so you'll know when I post the video. But thank you again. We're going to get into this review. We get back to the reunion. So Tamar returns, and Tamar and Jason are basically just telling the cast, like, everybody's going to get a chance to speak, but just shut up and let other people finish what they're saying. And they're basically talking to Sydney and Judy because, as you know, anytime anybody said anything, either one of them would butt in and say their piece, talk their little bit of shit. And it's just like, with y'all talking so much, nobody can get any points out, nobody can say what they want to say because y'all continue to talk over them and nobody else can be heard. So they're basically like, yeah, we know y'all got a lot to say, everybody's gonna get a chance to speak, but just shut up and let everybody else speak whenever they're being talked to. So then from that point on, they bring Megan out. So Megan comes out and she looks really good. Megan looked real good. And she got her drink in her hand and they're asking her like what she thinks about the reunion so far and what she thinks about the season. And Megan is very much like me in terms of just her energy, very nonchalant. She don't care. Like she said, I don't care. I think these bitches are fake. She said, I don't understand. She don't know if Sydney and Judy are friends or if Sydney got a dick or not. And Sydney then butts in and says, like, you didn't come to her birthday. Like, you didn't come to my birthday. And Megan's sitting there like, okay, yeah, duh, I wasn't gonna come to your birthday. And like I said, y'all told me that Megan and Sydney were really close friends. Which, like I said, whenever they were filming the show or starting to film the show, you look at Seven's, go look on Seven's YouTube. I forget what exact video. It's like the first video that she posted of this baddie stuff. Megan was in the car talking shit. Megan didn't seem like she was friends with her, and I feel like that was just a way for them to introduce Megan on the scene for this season. But Sydney's like, you didn't come to my party, and I feel like he was fucked up for doing that, whatnot. And Megan's just sitting there like, yeah, I didn't come to your party, and what? Like, Megan came there to collect her check and leave. That's just really what it came down to. But after that, Janelle then jumps in and says that she thinks their beef is fake. And she's talking about Sydney and Judy. She said because Jason had said, how do you feel about somebody spitting in your face and then coming back and being friends with you? And that's when Janelle interjected and said, I think it's fake because that same night they were still sleeping in the same bed. They're friends. She said, like, this whole thing is fake, and it's basically saying what I've been saying all season, what she's been saying all season. Sydney and Judy's, more so Sydney's in, truthfully, I feel like it's more so Sydney trying to just kind of make this beef something to happen on the show so she has a storyline. Judy's gonna play back and Judy's gonna do what she's gonna do because Sydney do be disrespecting Judy. Y'all be forgetting to say that. Y'all just talk about how Judy be transphobic, saying some transphobic shit, which she does say some transphobic stuff. I don't feel like she's transphobic, like I said, but Sydney be starting with Judy and Judy gives it back. Like, that's what happens, and Sydney just comes out of nowhere with it. But yeah, Janelle says she thinks it's fake. Megan thinks it's fake. I think it's fake. So then they get into Christina and Natalie's beef. Tamar asks Christina, how did the beef start? And Christina takes this long pause as she's trying to get it all together, and they're like, whatever, let's just start and watch the clip. So they watch the clip of them fighting at the beginning of the season. And Christina then says that, like, the reason why she was not fucking with Natalie in that moment is because of the way Natalie speaks to people. As you know, Natalie gets loud. Natalie likes to talk like she's better than everybody else, and you know that if you watch Natalie on live, she always talking about how much money she got, how much of a boss she is, yada yada yada. It's good to be confident and all that stuff, but just to be talking to people crazy, that's not cool. And like Christina said, she ain't with all this. She more so with this. And I understand that. Like, I'm the same way. I'll argue with you, but I ain't gonna sit here and argue with you all day long because that's putting out more energy than I could be putting into your face, which is the truth. Like, that's how Christina is. Like, I will fight you. Like, after you get right here, and you doing all this and you screaming and barking in my face, yeah, I'm gonna hit you. And that's just what she said. But then they get to Natalie, and Natalie says that she had no issue with Christina until the shit with Freedom, the makeup artist. And basically, Natalie is saying like she was trying her best to help her out, and then Jason was like, why did you call her a broke bitch? And Christina then butts in and says she's like basically in the other room, and she can hear her talking shit, screaming, and just being loud like Natalie always is. And she says Christina says she felt like Natalie should, being a friend, should have come up to her or at least pull her to the side and ask her certain things, because she said that she felt like Natalie just took what Freedom, the makeup artist, said and ran with it and started calling her a broke bitch, as opposed to going to her and asking her, okay, what's the issue, or at least addressing the issue with Christina instead of sitting there screaming in the other room, which I understand too. Like, I can't stand people that try to make a scene. And that's what Natalie be doing, but we are on a reality show. So Janelle then butts in, and Janelle saying like, basically, I don't feel like either one of them really hates each other, but it's just two angry people that just were fighting in the moment. To a certain degree, I do agree with her, but I mean, I feel like Christina had every right to be as angry as she did, considering how both Natalie and Freedom were disrespecting her. And then Natalie screaming in her face. I mean, you scream in somebody's face, the right person will hit you in your face, and then you both gonna end up fighting. Natalie, I will say this, Natalie, she knows who to pick them fights with, but if somebody was to swing on her, she will swing back. That's one thing I won't say Natalie is. I won't say she's a punk. I say she picks and chooses who she wants to fight with. Hence what I say, like, she ain't gonna start nothing with Christina, really, unless security's around. She damn sure ain't gonna mess with Seven, and she damn sure ain't gonna mess with Megan. Like, she's not gonna do that with them. She keeps her energy real low. If you notice that, throughout this reunion, the first part with Seven, when Seven was talking, Natalie sitting there smoking her vape and did not say much of nothing. And she kept that energy down when she was talking to her. With Megan, you just know she's not going to play with Megan either. So with Christina, I feel like Christina, she had more energy for her, but security was around, so that's why. Even in this reunion, she's kind of low tones with her. But Tamar brings up this clip, this screenshot of Natalie's Instagram post where she's just going on this long ass rant. And she's like, where's the animosity coming from? And Natalie's like, I don't have any animosity towards her. And Christina's like, yeah, I mean, that's a long ass post. Like, for you to be typing all that out, you got some type of animosity towards me. And then Natalie says it's in regards to the video that you did on Instagram Live. So then they play the Instagram Live of Christina basically chin checking, no pun intended, chin checking Natalie about her writing to Christina's boyfriend. So she's writing to Christina's boyfriend, talking shit, talking about how she's on drugs and whatnot. And Christina's like basically giving her a heads up, like, this is your warning. Don't ever do that shit again, because I'm going to air your shit out. And that's what she said. She said, keep wearing them lace fronts to cover that big ass forehead. That had me weak. And then she said, she's talking about the lash lines too, because you know Natalie got a lash line. She got a business and whatnot. Christina has said that when Natalie goes to Dubai, she basically out there selling pussy. And she's basically saying, like, because in a certain degree, you do think about stuff like that. Like, who's going on private jets to go on meetings? And that's the only time you go on a private jet is when you go to Dubai. You don't go on a private jet any other time you travel, because you know Natalie travels if you follow her lives. Like I said, I like Natalie. Natalie is funny to me. I will watch her Instagram lives all day long because she always got something to talk about. And something crazy always happens, like that elevator incident that happened a couple weeks ago. That shit was funny. But Natalie will tell you when she's on, like, when she's going somewhere, and she'll get on live and stuff, and she'll be on a regular flight. She'll be in first class, or she'll be on a regular flight like the rest of us do. But she'll get on a private jet when she has these meetings and when she goes to Dubai. And she's always got a group of girls with her, and that's what Christina's talking about. And Natalie was saying that Christina was talking about her child. So they cut the audio off. They cut the video off, and Natalie's like, run the rest of the video. If you don't run the rest of the video, I'm leaving the set and I'll hold this shit up. So they basically sitting there talking over her and talking about something else, and Natalie gets up and walks off the set because they didn't play the rest of the video. And Christina was saying she's about to sit here. She said, I was about to apologize if I did say something about your child, but I ain't saying nothing about your child. So as they're having this conversation, and Tamar, they pull up the clip again and they show the rest of the clip. And Tamar says, who's selling pussy? That clip, the way she said it just makes me laugh. I don't know why, but it does.
That's not what you said.
Janelle's talking about how she don't sell no pussy because they was talking about how so-and-so was saying that she's out here selling, well, Christina was saying that Janelle was out here selling pussy and out here fucking old white men. And Janelle's trying to clear her name, like, I don't sell pussy, whatever, da-da-da. So as they're doing this conversation, Natalie is outside talking her hyphy shit, talking about you forgot to put billionaire pussy on it and whatnot. Natalie, you're not a billionaire, stop trying it. But she out there talking her shit, like I said, when she's not in the grill, Natalie will pop. But she back there popping her shit. She walks back inside, she meets Tamar at the door, and she's saying the shit with mentioning her daughter. That was where she drew the line, and that's where she's most pissed. So they get back out there, and Tamar's like, yeah, you should be mad because she just basically insinuated that you out here cheating on your husband. And Natalie's like, that I don't care about that. She's worried about the child. So Christina's sitting there, and Tamar's asking Christina, like, where did you hear about her out here cheating and selling pussy? And Seven chimes in for Christina and says, like, she's literally shown it to me. You can Google it, which you can. Because I remember when it first came out, I mean, it was all over the blogs. I mean, you could see pictures of Natalie out in Dubai with these old Nigerian men, like African men. And you know what happens with the African men. Like, when you got a group of girls around with these old African men, that's a free check for these girls. Ain't out here getting a check the way we would get a check. But she's basically saying that Natalie's not worried about that insinuation, which is so crazy to me, because if anything, that was the one that's more detrimental to your career. But to the people who are out here selling pussy, like I said, that's what you do, that's what you do. I don't have any gripes about it or whatnot. I'm not shaming any sex workers. If that's what you do, that's what you do. Get it how you get it. But, I mean, Natalie, stand in it if that's what you do. Like, stand in it if that's what you do. But she didn't really address it like that either. That's the crazy part. But like I said, so they get back in, and like I said, Natalie's in there, and Natalie says play the rest of the audio. So they play the rest of the video, and Christina is talking her shit. Christina was talking her shit. The Jersey was coming out of her. You could hear it all in that accent. You could hear it all in that tone. She basically was saying, when she mentioned her daughter, she was saying, your daughter ain't gonna have nobody to look up to, basically insinuating, I'm gonna fuck you up. or in other words, I'm about to kill you. But she basically saying, like, she ain't gonna have nobody to look up to. She's like, I'm gonna blow your shit up. And this would have me laughing, talking about you need to lose some weight. Talking about basically saying Natalie done gained a lot of weight. And if you look at Natalie, she does look like she has gained some weight. No issue with that, but Christina said it. But Christina was basically saying, I didn't speak about your daughter, I talked about you. I mentioned your daughter not having nobody to look up to because I'm gonna fuck you up. But I was talking about you, I wasn't talking about your daughter. And then Natalie saying, like, that's the same thing I was doing with Seven, so how are you gonna say that to me when I was saying the same thing, insinuating the same thing about Seven? And Christina's like, you sitting here talking shit about Seven, saying she's a broke bitch, yada, yada, yada. Both of them are calling each other hypocrites, which both of them, in a way, are being hypocrites because they're both doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing. Christina was talking about Natalie, but mentioned her daughter. Natalie was talking about Seven and mentioned Seven's child. So Natalie's mad about her talking about her daughter, but you did the same thing, which is what Christina's trying to point back at her. So they going back and forth with that, and then it was starting to piss me off too, because Tamar and Jason, they were literally sitting there like chiming and talking shit. Well, Tamar was trying to get them to resolve, but she was trying to chime in while they were having a conversation, because they got together too at one point, and they were trying to reason and whatnot, and Christina was apologizing for mentioning her daughter, and she said that's one thing that she won't ever do. And Jason's in the background being messy, out here talking about something. If somebody talks about my family, it's on site. Which, in a way, I don't disagree, but in this moment, like, stop being messy, just allow them to have a conversation. Like, that was going to be the one conversation so far that actually got resolved. But they just going back and forth. Tamar's trying to butt in to basically speak and try and get them to hug it out in a way. But Natalie and Christina, they're having a conversation, a calm conversation, and they're just talking to each other. And they come to some kind of agreement to where they're not going to speak about kids anymore. And that's what it was. And I forgot to mention this too. Natalie goes down the line talking about, I don't know who's selling pussy. And she goes down to Judy. I don't know if you selling your pussy. She goes down to Janelle. I don't know if you selling your pussy. But then she gets to Megan. And like I said earlier, she know not to start with Megan. She didn't even say, I don't know what you're doing with your pussy. Megan, you look really beautiful today. Like, what I tell you, she know not to start with Megan. Man, Jason is such a Judy hater, but we're going to get into that too. But yeah, so then we get talking about, once they close that up, we start talking about Tanisha and Natalie's beef, and Tanisha saying how she received emails, like salacious emails and like threatening emails, basically in DMs, talking about her talking about how she ain't a bad girl, she ain't the baddest, she ain't on her businesses, whatnot. But then she started talking about how they were threatening her son, threatening to hang her son. If that is in fact true, that is crazy. But she said that she was basically tracking the shit, and the first one came back, the tracking IP number came back to the Bay Area, and that's where Natalie lives. So that's why she thought it was Natalie, and then she said the second one came back and it was from Virginia, so she's confused. And basically she's saying like she got this love-hate relationship with Natalie, and Natalie's swearing up and down she did not send an email to her, she ain't sent no emails to any of them girls on that stage, whatnot. And basically they're just going back and forth doing what they normally do, playing up this little beef that you know they don't really have. But Natalie is basically, Tanisha's basically saying that Natalie is mad that her name pops up on Google. Her being Tanisha's name pops up on Google first when you hear BGC, or when you type in Bad Girls Club, which is what Sarah had told Tanisha, which is so stupid, because it's like, really? Y'all are that stupid and that petty that you mad about a Google search? Like, that can change any day. But like they were saying, like when you think of Bad Girls Club, Tanisha and Natalie are the two that really pop into your mind. And they were saying that too, and then Jason being messy talking about, well, why does she, pointing at Judy, think that she's on the same level as y'all? And Seven pipes in and is like, yeah, she is on the same level. She's iconic. Like, season 7 was the shit because of Judy. And Sydney's sitting over there talking about no, yeah, because, I mean, she ain't no bad girl, da-da-da. And Seven checked her. She was like, yeah, like, she's the reason. Season 7 was the best season, and it was because of that bitch. And it's the truth. Season 7 was good. That's one of the best seasons for me. That's one of the best seasons I watched. I still watch them clips online. And it was because of Judy, like Seven said. Like, Judy made that season, and Judy is definitely a fan favorite. She's one of my favorites. These bitches, man. These bitches. So then Jason asked Megan a question, because Megan just sitting over there being quiet at this point. Megan's just watching. She's basically a fan on the stage. And asked her, like, what do you think? Who's the fakest bitch on this stage? And Megan's like, I feel like a lot of them are being fake, because a lot of them I've heard and sat in conversations with y'all where y'all saying how y'all gonna do this and do that, and ain't nobody done that. And she said, like, I'm not trying to champion somebody fighting on the reunion, but she feel like a lot of people ain't being real, which I can vouch for that as well. I can agree. A lot of people said they was gonna fight, and that's what they were saying, like, address certain things. If somebody said some shit, say that shit. And that's basically what they were saying. And Tamar got a little offended and said, like, just because we ain't out here fighting and stuff, and these girls ain't out here fighting, doesn't make this a boring reunion. And she's saying, like, that's the thing with all black women nowadays. Most people look at black women as the only way that we're entertaining is by fighting. And Megan was saying, I agree. Like, that is, Megan was definitely agreeing with Tamar, but basically just stating, I feel like these girls are not being real and not really saying what they were saying off the camera. And I agree with Megan. Like, a lot of these girls should have addressed certain things in different ways. But Tamar got into her little rant. She was going off. She was speaking facts. But I feel like she was just ready to get that off of her chest. I feel like it was misdirected, because it was directed at Megan. But then you got Sydney over here barking, talking about something. Yeah, Christina said she was going to slap the shit out of Janelle. I want you to fuck her up, da-da-da-da. Just trying to egg it on, being an instigator and whatnot, being a fan, the fan that she is. And as they're having this whole little back and forth, Megan was basically defending herself to Tamar, saying, like, I didn't say that, you didn't listen. And basically Tamar saying, like, yeah, these women are out here having conversations because we're grown, and that's what we do. Like, we don't always have to be up here fighting, which I agree. But then Sydney gets up and tries to fake out like she about to go over and charge it at Judy. And then turns around and says, oh, I'm joking. And that's the thing with Sydney too, though. Like, that's where Judy's like, don't touch me. And I feel like Sydney, I feel like she shouldn't be fighting nobody. I do. I truly feel like she shouldn't be fighting nobody. Okay, this scene right here, they finally checked. Seven, this is why that's my girl. That's why that's my girl. Period. Like, Seven checked the fuck. All right, we're gonna get to it. So we get to, damn, where we at? I feel like we got so much to talk about with this reunion. It's actually kind of decent. Yeah, so then we go back to everybody being fake and whatnot, and basically they're talking to Natalie and Judy. No, they're talking to, I think they're talking to Judy, but Natalie ends up passing her little vape to Megan to smoke, and Judy's like, see, she fake. And she's like, you fake because I asked you to smoke it, but you want to give it to Megan. And then that sets Natalie off, and Natalie's sitting there screaming and doing what she does to Judy all the time. Like I said, you watch any of my reviews, probably the last 7 or 8 of the last episodes, she starts talking to Judy in a way that she don't talk to none of them girls. And Judy's like, see, that's what you do. You try to embarrass me. And then Judy gets emotional. And as she's getting emotional, she's saying like, you treat me like shit. You treat me more like shit than anybody on the stage besides Sydney. And Judy's getting emotional and whatnot. And she brings up how how Natalie basically treated her like shit in the house too. Like how she said that she told Tanisha that she needed another room because she's got anxiety. And Tanisha went and brought that to Natalie and said like she lost her, talking about Judy had lost her mom and her dad. So she does need time to kind of just be by herself and cope with stuff like that. That sets Natalie off. Natalie's screaming in her face, talking shit. Like I said, she would never, the way she's acting with Judy, she would never in her life think to do that to Megan, to Seven, to Christina, to any of them bitches back in the day that would whoop her ass. She would not think to do that. But she up in Judy's face screaming and shit, and Judy's like, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is where Seven jumps in, and Seven's like, this is what Judy's talking about. This is her point. Like getting up in her face, screaming and talking crazy to her, trying to embarrass her. She's like, she wouldn't do that to none of us on the stage, and that's what Jason started to talk about too, saying like, this is what the theme is that the way you're talking to Judy, you would never do that to Seven, and you wouldn't do that to Christina. I said, thank you. But Seven jumps in again and says like, every woman on the stage has character flaws, but Natalie only chooses to do this shit with Judy. And that's what Judy is trying to say. And I'm glad Seven finally did it, because I feel like this entire season, nobody has stood up for Judy. And Seven stood up for her in that moment. Tanisha even stood up for her, and I applaud Tanisha for that too. And Judy breaks down too. She's like, I don't have my mom and my dad. Like, I feel like I'm alone. And she breaks down, and this is probably the realest scene I've seen on this entire series. And she breaks down, and I feel bad for her, because it's like a lot of shit's coming at her, and then people don't realize a lot of people go through a lot of shit, and she's going through some shit. Like, I still have my parents on this earth, and I don't know what I would do without one of them, let alone both of them. But it's like, damn, like, give the girl a break. And then Natalie screaming and shit, saying like, she sent her flowers and stuff, but that don't mean nothing. Like, you sending her flowers, yeah, that's great and all, but moral support means more than just the physical stuff. Stop sending me flowers and shit. Call me, check up on me, be nicer to me, try to treat me like I'm a human being. Don't talk down to me, don't talk crazy to me. And that's where I wish Judy was a lot more like a Christina, or more like a Seven, or more like a Megan, where she don't allow people to do that to her. Like, Judy got to stop allowing these people to treat her like this, because Natalie takes that and runs with it. Because you see the ones that she don't press like this, she doesn't press them because she knows you press a little too hard, you might get popped in your face. Whereas with Judy or Sydney, she can talk reckless to them because she knows they're weaker and won't necessarily stand back to her and really do what they would need to do to get her to shut the fuck up. But yeah, this is probably the most genuine moment that I've seen so far in this series. So it was a really decent scene. We're getting to the pointless scene with Judy and Sydney again. And basically, they just sitting there talking shit again, talking about how they haven't talked in 2 years. And Jason's like, I smell bullshit. Like, I don't believe that. You're like, y'all literally are best friends and whatnot. Judy says that they're friends. She's insisting that they're friends. Sydney's looking at her like she wants to say the same thing, and then she says no. And it's just like, it's stupid. And then Jason starts trying Judy, and then Judy gets back with him, and he's starting to say like, you had all this energy for Sydney, but you didn't have it for Natalie when she was in your face. And Tanisha's like, Judy is not a fighter, and neither is Sydney. Sydney's just doing this because she knows she's on camera. She's trying to get sound bites. She's trying to get memes and trying to get these fans to do what they have. All them other girls have these little best moments. She's trying to get her little archived best moments. So it's stupid. They're just basically going back and forth over and over again. And then Judy calls Sydney a man again, which is, they're all talking about it's transphobic, which it is. But then Judy brings up another valid point. Like, everybody always hears what I'm saying, but never hears how she says stuff to me and calls me a trans and said I got a dick in between my legs, and say that Janelle is trans. And they sitting there swearing up and down they never heard that. Like, y'all know for damn sure, and she's right with that. Like, you can't just come at her for saying shit when you don't come at her. And she's the trans woman. Like, if anything, she should look stupid for saying that. Like, you a trans woman out here calling people trannies as an insult. Like, so we get to the end. Tamar comes back. They're all doing their final thoughts. Sydney is thanking everybody for allowing her to be a bad girl and whatnot. Judy goes online. She's emotional. She tells them that she loves everybody. She wants them all to basically have the best in life. She wishes everyone the best. Same thing as Megan. Megan does the same. Janelle had another funny moment. Janelle is just funny. This girl is literally, she's comedy without trying to be. She's what Sydney tries to be, which is try to be funny, but Janelle don't have to do that. Janelle's just naturally funny. If Sydney would just do that, she would be fine. But Jason was like, you're beautiful. Like why do you, like, because they were talking about how, that's what happened. Because Megan said Janelle does not sell pussy. She don't even like having sex. And then Jason said, well then why did God give you all this? And Janelle goes, he did give me all this. I went and bought it. Like, that shit had me weak. But after that, they went on to, who did they go on to next? I think they went to Christina. Christina's saying the same thing, like she's wishing everybody well. And oh, damn, I'm all over the place. Janelle and Christina, they had their conversation. Because, you know, they had their beef as well. Janelle saying, like, in my interviews and stuff, I just wish that you would have called me and told me if you felt a certain way. And I could have told you this over the phone. We don't need to bring social media into it, which I agree. And Christina's like, yeah, I see that you're trying to squash this. And Christina says, I don't want you to die, but I don't care for you as a person. Which, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you don't have to like everybody. So I was cool with that. And then they get to 7, and 7 is just 7. 7's me. 7 is me in a woman's body. She's like, these bitches are crazy. She said, I wish the best to everybody. Everybody on the stage got some shit that they got to work on, including myself. But these bitches is crazy, and I ain't got time to do this shit no more. 7 is like me. I ain't got time for that. And then they get to Natalie, and Natalie goes down the line on her apology tour, and she's giving everybody all their props and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, and then Tanisha does the same thing. They all wrap it up and whatnot. But y'all, like I said at the beginning of the video, I will be reviewing One More Chance. And at the end of this, we have a trailer, a teaser for what's to come. So we're gonna watch it. And I hope y'all stick with me to watch this season, because this shit is good. That first season was crazy, and I know we got somebody else coming, a couple people coming back, I believe, which is what I saw, but we're about to find out now. Here is a sneak peek of One More Chance Season 2. Let's see what's about to happen. You see Roly Poly? See Roly Poly, she back. She was one of my favorites. Let's get back to her. Roly is right there. And there go Yodeler. That was my other favorite. And y'all know they don't like each other, so this is gonna be interesting. Oh wait, that's not her. But I know she's coming.
You ready to do this, Mike?
Where's she at? There she go. There's. Wait, was that Roly? Wait, Roly back there behind her.
Okay. Already. You know my real name?
No. What is it?
Shake it! Shake it! Make me want to say God damn.
God damn.
Okay, I look good. I still look good.
Look who it is.
Oh shit, I forgot Yummy was pregnant. Y'all know she been fucking around with Trey Songz, like Yodeler said on the first season. Oh shit, he going to her house pregnant.
Season 1 me, I would've rung your ass up. Bitch, come here!
Yodeler getting tired. You know that one right there, she don't play. And if people tried to play her like she wasn't about what she about, like go watch her YouTube video. She did one where she was talking about all the fights she got to in high school. And she put clips in. She could throw down. She my favorite.
Season 1 me,
Leo gang.
I would've rung your ass up. Bitch, come here!
Who's she talking to?
I'm gonna beat your ass. Suck my fucking dick, bitch!
Your pussy long.
Ah, this is Wait, hold on. They got way more fights this season than the last one. They go, damn, Roly Poly, who was this? Kissing, they actually having some kissing this season. This shit looks lit. Ooh. Y'all watching with me? Come on, we got something to talk about. Damn it, I was trying to cancel this fucking membership, but here we go. Here we go. Thank you. Fine, that's what I wanted out of Baddies, but we getting it with One More Chance. If you rocking with me, rock with me. Comment down below, thumbs up this video, drop a comment, turn the post notifications on. Let me know what you think. I love y'all for rocking with me, and I will talk to y'all whenever this shit comes out. But yeah, check me with the challenge. The challenge coming Wednesday. But that's it. I'm signing off. Peace.